Welcome back to another episode on the MOD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be going over my point guard Mount Rushmore, aka my top four point guards of all time. All right, boys. So we're going over my top four point guards of all time, and we're going to start this list off with Oscar Robertson. But before we do that, I want to tell y'all, I think I don't think, but something I do when I watch YouTube videos, especially podcasts and videos where people are just talking, and I'm trying to like listen to them. I speed it up a little bit, especially me. Going back, I talk pretty slow in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like when I'm talking, like when I'm talking right now it doesn't feel slow, but going back and listening to the audio, I guess I'm a slower talker, whatever. But yeah, speed up these videos because time is money, man. And if you could go back and binge watch all my videos, I done uploaded like 8 videos this week, and some of these videos are like 40 minutes. Lord knows how long this video is going to be. I'm going to try and make it shorter because I feel like I don't want y'all to be here for 40 minutes. And if I keep talking about things besides my point guard Mount Rushmore, I'm gonna leave y'all here for 40 minutes. So yeah, let's try and shoot for 15 minutes today, or maybe even below that. We're gonna start this off with Oscar Robertson. He is a Hall of Famer, 12-time All-Star, All NBA 11 times, an MVP, an NBA champion. Bro, Oscar Robertson, don't gotta talk too much about this man. He played 14 years in the NBA and made 12 All-Star games and 11 All NBAs. That is a real hard thing to do and not an easy feat. He's a 30-point per game scorer with triple doubles. Like, look at this 1963-64 season. Even though he averaged 9.9 rebounds, I don't care. That's a triple double. Like, ooh, Oscar Robertson is so tough, pretty efficient. And when you go back and watch him, he's so quick and he's a real good playmaker and honestly a fun person to watch. And he's very skilled. His mid-range is lethal. His crossover is pretty nice. Bro, when people talk about like these all-time players ain't nice, man, they're not watching the right people. Oscar Robertson, if you want to go back and watch ball in the 60s, I'm telling you, he is probably the first person you should watch, especially when he was on the Royals. Holy, he was nice. Holy, he was nice. Fourth best point guard of all time. His ability to create opportunities for others, his ability to shot create is something that kind of surprised me. I didn't expect him to be the shot creator he is for some reason. When you think about Oscar Robertson and you don't watch him, you kind of think about like a Russell Westbrook, because of the triple doubles. You hear triple double and you think about Russell Westbrook. I think about triple doubles and that's what I think about. Your grandpa thinks about triple doubles and thinks about Oscar Robertson. That's how it be sometimes. But yeah, one of the best shot creators, very quick, and he could create for his own teammates. Rebounding to me isn't something I really care about too much at the point guard position, especially when his rebound would go down in the playoffs, especially because rebounding ain't something you need all that much from your point guards. But he's very aggressive, and you can tell that by how much he gets to the free throw line, and he converts his free throws at a good rate. Very, like I said, he's an efficient shooter. He may have not been shooting them from 3-point range, but there also was no 3-point line. Like you can tell that if there was a 3-point line when he was playing, he probably would have coveted his game more around that. But obviously he didn't, and he still was good, averaging 30, with no 3-point line. Yeah, like I said, even in the playoffs, his assists were pretty good, still good at playmaking. I wish that they had track of turnovers back in these times, but when I watch back, he wasn't even turning the ball over that much, honestly. Like, he seemed like a good playmaker, or he didn't even seem. I know he's a good playmaker. I know he's quick, and I know he could put the ball in the basket while creating opportunities for his teammates. Oscar Robertson did this for, 12 years? He made 12 All-Star games. Like, let's count how many prime seasons he had. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8. I'm gonna give it a 19, 8, 9. Honestly, 15 and 7. Is that my limit? Is 1972 my limit? He has about 9 prime years, which is a real good thing. Let's see how many years he has in the playoffs. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has 8 good years in the playoffs. Like that matters, man. Consistency, doing this on a year-to-year basis is not an easy thing. And Oscar was able to do it. And ultimately in 1970-71. I believe that's when he teamed up with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They took it all the way. I think that's the year that the Boston Celtics didn't make the playoffs, even though they were like the fifth best record in the NBA. Back in the day, the seedings was weird. Yeah, that's the year that the Bucks won and the Boston Celtics didn't make the playoffs. So yeah, shout out to the big O and Kareem for getting it done in the 1970-71 season. But that year, he was more of a cold start when they won. So, looking at him and the other players, that is kind of what hit him a little bit, especially like these other guys. Like he is a top 15 player of all time. Let's just move on to the next player. Next player is Jerry West. Yes, sir. Even a funner watch than Oscar Robertson. Honestly, him and Jerry West were my two players that going back, I enjoyed watching the most. It's the guard position thing. Oscar was the quick one who had the nice midi and could get to the basket. And then Jerry West was your two-way guy who could shoot lights out. That boy, that's kind of what moved me with Jerry West is the defense, and the two of them, they got drafted the same year, I believe. Oscar Robertson and Jerry West got drafted the same year, and Jerry West just has more to his name. They literally played in they played. Did they play both retired in the same year? Yeah, they got drafted the same year, retired the same year, and Jerry West was just better than me. Yeah, first overall pick in 1960, second overall pick in 1960. So you can't tell me like these guys, you can't give me no era thing. They played the exact amount, and Jerry West did more. Scoring champion, All NBA 12 times, 14-time All-Star. He made it every single year that he played. NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP, doing it on both sides. He was a 5-time All-Defensive player. And the thing about Jerry West, the 5-time All-Defense, it doesn't even go to tell you how good of a defender he was. The award didn't get implemented into the NBA until he was 30 years old. So all those years before that, he wasn't even like getting the award that he deserved. He played until he was 35 years old, and he got all NBA defensive teams until he was 35 years old. Okay, Jerry West was like that, and he could shoot. I understand that it says that he was a 27 per game scorer. Honestly, he was just shooting 3-pointers. I'm gonna boost that up to 28. I don't want to get too crazy and like just give him 3 points, and say he was a 30-point per game scorer. Just so my point is proven that like, bro, this man was really, really shooting threes like that. He was a 28-point per game scorer, So that gravity that he was providing back in the day was tough, boy. That gravity was tough. Let's see how many prime years Jerry West had, because we did it for Oscar. It was 9. Jerry West has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, matter of fact, I'm gonna just take his rookie year away. Yeah, 13. Yeah, 66 from the free throw line is sick. 41 from the field, I guess. 13 years of elite play, dude. That is so tough. And he was very efficient himself. He was aggressive, getting to the free throw line, like I said, with Oscar Robertson. The same thing Jerry West provided while being a better shooter and being a better defender. Oscar, he was a bit better at the playmaking department, of course, but hey, Jerry West, he was an assist champion himself. It's not like they weren't both elite at it. Jerry West just had more of a scoring load. Even I wouldn't say that necessarily. They both had a lot of a scoring load, about the same. But hey, one of them, in my opinion, got to be fourth. One of them got to be third, and that's just how I went with it, because Jerry West ultimately he was a playoff riser. He was a playoff riser. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years in the playoffs also. So what was that? 13 years in his regular seasons where he was dominating, and 10 in the playoffs. Man, he's the logo for a reason, okay? He's the logo for a reason, my boy. 40 points in 11 games. That is so tough to do, boy. 89 from the free throw line on 14 and 10. Like I'm telling you, that man was getting to the basket. He was putting them shots up because that's what he had to do. And that 1971 season, that was the year that Elgin Baylor retired, and this team finally was able to win. When you go back and watch, Elgin Baylor, he almost was like a problem on the team. Wilt Chamberlain, he was cool. Wilt Chamberlain is Wilt. I'm not gonna complain about Wilt. All right, Wilt he might be someone we mentioned in the last video, okay? But Jerry West, third best point guard of all time, in my opinion. Great shooter, great defender, great passer, great leader. Rest in peace and salute to the legend, man. One of the most influential players of all time. Man, Jerry West, shout out to you. Next player we got is the chef himself, Steph Curry, and he's still going. Steph Curry is still going, but the only thing is the babyface assassin doesn't have a team around him. You know, the Human Torch. I never really hear that. Human Torch, Chef Curry, Steph. Hey, my boy Wardell is amazing. Wardell, we ain't gonna have to talk about him too much because if you listening to this video right now, you most likely watching Steph alongside with me. 10-time All-Star, scoring champion. We all can agree that steel champion does not move us, right? Like we all could agree that the steel champion doesn't move us. He is a good help defender though, like a good team defender. I won't lie about that. He's a good team defender. But one-on-one defense, come on. We know who Curry is. But four-time NBA champion, 2 times MVP, a finals MVP. We know he's supposed to have 2 finals MVPs, right? Like can we come on? Curry's supposed to have 2 on. Come on, Andre Iguodala, man. All right, bro. All right. Either way, talk about Curry. He's had what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 prime years, and he's still going. Let's go, Curry. Let's go, man. I'm trying to watch the best point guard of all time. I need you to build this up a little bit, all right, my man? Because holy, Curry has a chance. He really has a chance to take that number 1 spot, but he hasn't yet. The best three-point shooter of all time, one of the best free throw shooters of all time. Hey, that's a crazy stat. I understand that he didn't finish that season where he only averaged 20.8 points, but he ain't miss a free throw. He ain't played that much games though. But hey, that looks cool to see 1000%. That's cool. But yeah, very good playmaker. We already know he could do off the ball playmaking wise, like how he creates plays without even touching the ball. We know you got to guard this man from 30 feet. Man, 50 feet, boy. Like we know who Curry is, and he's a pretty decent rebounder. Doesn't really move me at all, to be honest. But in the playoffs, Curry, the Golden State Warriors team, hey boy, they done got them some chips. They done got them some chips because of this man. All right, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Literally every single postseason run he has been good. Literally every single one. I don't get why people talk about Steph Curry's playoff performances like it's not good. It's whatever. Steph Curry is one of the best playoff players of all time, honestly. Like, if we're 27 points per game on 39% from the 3, and we know the difficulty of shot he's taking with the volume, and especially with how he's asked to play. Oh, man, Steph Curry's the second best point guard of all time with the amount of gravity that he was bringing. Man, Steph Curry, man. I don't got to talk about Curry too much. On to the last person is Magic Johnson. Tragic Johnson. That's a Tragic Johnson. That's a funny name. Buck EJ. Yeah. Magic. Like literally the best point guard of all time. 10-time All-NBA, 3-time MVP. One thing we got to talk about, similar to Stephen Curry, 2-time steal champ. Yeah, he's a good team defender, but don't let that fool you. Don't let that fool you. 5-time champion, 3 times finals MVP. We have 2 players that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played with, and I think that they're both 2 of the best point guards ever. Like Kareem is blessed that he played with 2 of the best point guards of all time. Shout out to you, Kareem. But Magic Johnson, he has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 prime years. My boy made an all-star game without even playing. Like, that's the type of trajectory Magic Johnson was on. He literally could have been the greatest basketball player of all time, but, that's tough. we know what happened, all right? Magic Johnson had a GOAT case. A literal, not the GOAT point guard. He already is that. He had a chance to be better than Michael Jordan. Like, we got to look back and realize Magic Johnson, he was supposed to be the guy that Jordan was competing against, especially with those first 3 finals runs. But what happened. And, you got to respect Jordan and what he's did. But Magic Johnson was on MVP, first in MVP. He was a top 3 MVP candidate from 82 And only thing that stopped him was him not being able to play anymore, man. That's so unfortunate because Magic Johnson literally could be the best player of ever. His playmaking, what he did at that level, 13 assists, man. I always talk about how being the lead guard on your team is very hard to do when all you could do is pass. Like Steve Nash's of the world, Chris Paul's, the Tyrese Halliburton's. I don't like players, or it's not that I don't like them, but you have to insert your dominance as a scorer to have your passing be respected. Like similar like to Rajon Rondo. Like when you pass so much, it starts becoming predictable that you're just gonna pass to whoever's open. Man, Magic Johnson, he had that play style, but he was so up tempo with it. He was so good, and he was such a good finisher, and he's willing to put the ball in the basket. Look at that, 24 points per game, 23 in the playoffs. When you could turn it up and score baskets too, especially as efficient as Magic was. Like, look at this, 85% from the free throw line. That's really good. 48% inside the arc. That's really good. And he was getting about 12 shot attempts a game. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's not like the level of the other guys as a shot creator, but Magic was getting to it, and he was getting his teammates open, playing solid defense. Man, the amount of plays that Magic was making, bro, it's so unfortunate that he didn't get to, finish off his career the way that he wanted to. But in the playoffs, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. 12 years of dominance, bro. Like Magic. I wish we could have seen it all. I really do. 50% from the field. He shot from the free throw line? 83% from the line. That's not bad. That's really good, man. 12 assists per game in your playoff career. That's so tough. 20-point per game score. Magic, man. Magic. 12 points, 4 assists. That's a good turnover to assist ratio too, man. And it's funny, he's the only point guard on the all-time point guard list that really could carry that much of a load in the playoffs, playmaking wise. Even the Big O, he wouldn't do that. It's not something that's normal. Point guards finishing the season off, averaging that much assists in the playoff atmosphere is just not something. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. The only point guards ever to average 10 assists and win the NBA Finals. Or I can't say ever. Matter of fact, let me double check with Oscar. Let me double check. Did he average 10? Not in the playoffs. Did he do it in the regular season though? 70, 71? Not in the regular season either. So yeah, passing at 10 assists. I remember LeBron did it in 2020 because he was listed at point guard that year. Magic did it. And y'all let me know who else all time has averaged 10 assists per game in the season and also won a championship. Once you have a player who has that much of a load and that much of a responsibility, it's not easy to win because these teams are prepared for it. Teams scheme for that. Teams game plan for that. And Magic Johnson still was dominating, man. LeBron James still dominating. These are the only guys I can name who did that. Magic and LeBron. And we all could agree LeBron's like a top 3 player of all time. I don't think he's number 3, but we all could agree he's a top 3 player of all time. So being able to do that is super duper impressive. The amount, man, Magic Johnson, bro, 15 assists in the playoffs is crazy, bro. And you won a chip that year. That's crazy, man. I'm in awe. I'm in absolute awe about Magic Johnson. I'm in awe about all of these players. All of these players, going back to watch them is super fun, especially Jerry West and Oscar Robertson, since I wasn't hip on them at all. I'm hip on them now. I've been hip on Jerry West for the past, 2 years. Oscar Robertson, I got a little bit hip on him at around that time. But before I recorded this video, I wanted to get, more into him just so I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my top 4 point guards of all time. And like I said, I was trying to make this about 15 minutes. I got to that 20-minute mark, but if you listen to me and put it in times 2, hey, that was a 10-minute video for you. If you like listening to me talk normal speed, about 20 minutes, not that bad. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. And if you like this video, hey, I got a couple suggestions for you. I have a Jerry West documentary who I talked about Jerry West for about 30 minutes. Another video, I think you should put it times 2 speed, but I'm hip on Jerry West. Talk everything about that man's career. Shout out to him. Rest in peace to a legend. And if you like what I had to say about these point guards, maybe you should listen to yesterday's video where I ranked the top 30 point guards in the NBA. And yeah, that's enough self-promoting. If you're still here at 20 minutes, I'm 72 subscribers in. I would appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe, but I'm done begging for extra views and stuff. So yeah, have a nice day and God bless.